everyone, welcome back to Kirsty Colouring Sketch. So I'm going to be doing a little video today colouring in Pot Manga Dragons and Other Magical and Mythical Creatures by Camilla Derricourt. So a couple of weeks ago on my community tab I did ask you all, whoever wanted to be featured in this video, I did ask you all your reason for colouring. I just thought it'd be really interesting to see as a colouring community all the different reasons that we colour. So I'm going to read out a few that have been posted on my community tab. They have given me permission to read these out on the channel, and then I'll explain my reason for colouring. So whilst I'm doing that, I'm going to colour this gorgeous dragon. Look at the floral detail on there. I don't think I'm going to colour it individually. I think I'm going to go over as a whole, just a whole colour, because I quite like the sketchiness of it. So I've just picked out two colours I'm going to use. So yeah, so thank you to everybody who did comment on my community tab and gave a reason for colouring, because I know sometimes reasons why we colour can be quite personal to us, and not everybody wants to share the reason why. So I'm grateful to everyone who left me a little comment and gave their own reasons. So I'm going to start off with Gina McGregor, and she left a little comment saying, I started colouring in 2015 because it became very popular then, and it has turned into my hobby as it has helped with my recent mental health in the recent times, and stress and anxiety too. So I've noticed that it does help a lot with, you know, people in the community who do suffer with anxiety and stress. It does really help. A lot of us use colouring to release that, me being one of them, and it does really help. Like, you know, even if you're not a YouTuber, even if you just sat watching other people chat, because I watch other YouTubers as well, and I sit and I don't always comment, or sometimes I'll watch live streams and I don't always join in, but it just feels like you've got someone in the room with you. It just feels like there's somebody there. There's somebody there. There's a presence there. You're not always lonely when you've got this, when you're watching somebody and you've got the, you know, just normal chat, just normal everyday chat. So yeah, I agree with that. And then we've got one from Purple Warrior Colour Channel. I think Purple Warrior actually has her own YouTube channel as well, so check that out. And she's put, the reason I colour, I got extremely sick in 2015 and I was about 12 or 13. So in 2016 it became a constant thing year after year where I would be hospitalised, and I was always looking for a way to cure boredness. And in 2018, when I became a full-fledged adult, I was looking to colour again, and I never knew about adult colouring. Did more research, and from there I never stopped colouring. I always wanted to make a YouTube channel, but never had the courage. So in 2020, I decided to take the leap of faith and start my own colouring channel. Even though there were many, I never thought people would actually sub to my channel. I now have 143 subscribers, which I am ever so grateful. Things are expensive in South Africa, so I save and then buy small hauls every 4 to 6 months. So yeah, again, it's like finding that community, isn't it? And obviously she has her own channel now, and when people subscribe to your channel, you are in shock at first, because you think, gosh, people want to tune in, and people are finding this interesting and they're liking what I'm doing, and you know, it does feel really, really nice, and it feels like you've got your own little community as well. You're never lonely in a weird way. You are sometimes, but not. Even though you're not here, even though you could be over the opposite side of the world, it still feels like you've got a link with someone. So yeah, it's nice as well when you're on the start of the journey and you're discovering everything bit by bit. And even now, years into colouring, I'm still discovering new things about colouring, or new artists, new supplies. Maybe there's supplies that have been around for years but you're only just discovering them. So yeah, if you're not already subscribed, go and pop along to Purple Warrior Colour channel. Colour with a L, not a U. So the next one is from Tracy McDonald, and she says, I colour because I enjoy it. It relaxes me and I have a love of colour and art. So yeah, I think we all have a passion for colouring and art, you know, even if we're not the best at certain aspects of art, we can all appreciate it. Certainly I have tried so many times to do different types of art. Some I'm okay at, some I'm not, but we all appreciate it. So the love for art, that's something that I have as well, Tracy. I think most of us do. And because you enjoy it, of course, because you enjoy it, and that's the main thing. You know, we don't want to be colouring and not enjoying it. And that's something I've stopped myself from doing sometimes on the channel. You know, sometimes you feel pressured to colour what you think somebody else might want to see you colour, but then you're not enjoying it, and that takes away from the whole point of colouring, doesn't it? So you have to remind yourself that sometimes. So that's that one. So we've got another little message from Addicted to Colouring. So this is Zoe from Addicted to Colouring, and she has a channel as well, so if you've not checked that out, head on over. Zoe's a lovely girl, and she's put, I colour to relieve stress and anxiety, to try and learn new skills, and because I get to buy a ton of new books. For me, the colouring book collection is very much a part of the hobby too. Before I started my channel, I was really in my shell, not wanting to talk to anyone, not going out, and I was in a really bad place mentally. So I made my channel to try and make new like-minded friends and share my little creations with the world. I can't tell you how much it has helped me, and can now say I have friends worldwide because of our awesome colouring community. That's just lovely, Zoe. Absolutely lovely. And there'll be a lot of stories like that. There'll be a lot of stories like that where it's just changed their life completely. You know, you don't feel quite as lonely, even if you're like me, stay-at-home mum and not many friends. You know, I have a good friend, Debbie, and I have a WhatsApp group of mums who I talk to, but we don't actually see each other too often. So it can feel lonely. It can feel lonely when you're in the house by yourself all the time, and then just having this community, having all you guys, having the community and having someone to talk to. You know, whether it's in live streams, you can start talking to people in live streams. That can really fill your day. I've sat there for hours in live streams, especially if there's some sort of colouring event going on at the time. And there's, you know, 30, 40, sometimes if it's a big channel, 100 people in the live stream, and all from different areas of the world. And it's lovely, isn't it, Zoe? It just is. It also passes time as well. I think when you sat here with a good colouring page, you just, you know, even if you don't want to be thinking about colour palettes, you can grab a colour by number, you can grab a mandala book, and time just drifts away and you're just enjoying yourself. It is mindless. It is mindless. And then when there's that thing as well, when you've coloured your page and you can look through your colouring books. I know Zoe said she likes collecting books. She's like a colouring book collector. But it is nice to just look at them. Sometimes I think I have got a couple of books where I don't colour in them much, but I really love the art in them. And I've heard a few other people say that as well, that they just like flipping through the book every so often and just looking at the art. Because sometimes it's not all about colouring in a certain book, it is just about appreciating what's inside it, almost. But yeah, that's so good that it's helped you so much, Zoe, because it does. This is how much it helps people, and that's why they call it colouring therapy, isn't it, when they do that? So yeah. So the next little message was from Pencil Addict. So she's put, I started colouring in 2015. A lot of people have started colouring in 2015, haven't they? I think there's about 3 or 4 messages saying they started in 2015, so it must have been a popular year for colouring. I started colouring in 2015 after having my daughter and being a stay-at-home mum. It helped me to gain some independence in a sense that I could do something for myself and myself alone. As it progressed, it has helped with my mental health and has been a positive creative outlet that I now share with my 7-year-old little girl. We colour together every day. It's helped me to express how I feel without saying a word. Truly, colouring has been one of the most wonderful things that I've done for myself. Colouring is my self-care, it's my me time. Even when I do so with my daughter, we get so into it and get lost. I just love it. And it has opened a huge community of people that I can communicate with and be inspired from. Thanks for all that you do, Kirsty. All of my love to you and your family. Oh, thank you. And love to you too. It's just exactly that. It's what you've wrote, and a lot of what you've wrote resonates with me as well. You know, I'm a stay-at-home mum, so I understand how lonely that can be. I'm glad that your daughter has the passion for it as well, because it is nice. It is nice. I'm the same as you. I did purchase 2 of my daughters. I did purchase them the Camilla Derico Cute and Creepy book because I thought that was quite, you know, child friendly, and they really enjoyed colouring in that with me once upon a time. They've not had that book out in a while, but yeah, they did really love sitting down and colouring that with me, and then looking at what pages I'd coloured and trying to copy little things I'd done in my book in their own books. And it's really nice. It really bonds you. And sometimes, you know, the kiddies can start being a little bit naughty at times, but I find when you sit down with them and actually do an activity with them, be it colouring or something else they enjoy, they're really engaged, and they calm down with that, you know, that bit of unwanted behaviour, and they're really enjoying what they're doing with you. And also you're enjoying it too, because there's some things the children ask you to do sometimes. You all know, we can all admit it, that you're like, oh, I don't really want to do that. Oh, you know, whether it's baking and you don't really like baking, but colouring, you know, when you find a passion for something together, it's nice. It's really nice. So the next one is from Emily's Colouring Corner, and she's wrote, I colour because it reminds me of my papa. We used to colour together for hours and hours. I miss him dearly as he passed in 2013. Colouring helps me deal with anxiety and my mental health as well. Oh, it's sad to hear, Emily. It's always sad when you think back of people that used to be here, and you miss the company and things you used to do together. But you've got that memory. You've got that memory of enjoying something together like that, and that's amazing. That is amazing. So it helps with your anxiety and mental health. It really does. It really, really does. I cannot. It's mad how something so simple can make such a big difference, isn't it? I've always found that crazy. But I think whether it's taking your mind off to another place, whether it's colouring, whether it's, sometimes I like to go out in the garden as well. And if you can take your colouring book out into the garden, then that's a bonus, isn't it? That's an extra bonus when the weather's nice. Apart from the pencils might melt a little bit. You have to take your hard leaded ones out there, not your Prismacolor. But yeah. Next one's from Josephine Mitchell. I've always had a colouring book and colours since being a small child, along with various other crafts. Sewing, machine by day, cross stitch at night, knitting, jigsaws, dolls, models, puzzles, etc. I'd call it more of a pastime while the kids slept. The price of the books tripled when it was marketed for stress relief. I still have those pictures in glitter. My friend fondly called scribbling. Oh, that's one of the first things that I worried about when I first started colouring, was that people would laugh. Like, people would think it was a child's thing to do. And now I'm really not bothered. Now I'm not bothered what they think. Now I really don't care. But yeah, that was one of the things I worried about, people saying it was scribbling, or it was a kid's thing to do, or, you know, all them sort of things you do worry about. But yeah, other crafts. So I've just started doing a bit of diamond painting as well. So it's interesting that you do a lot of other crafts as well. It'd be interesting to see what other crafts everybody does. So you put cross stitch at night and sewing by day. Knitting is one of the things I always wanted to learn how to do, and my great auntie Mary, bless her, she tried so hard to teach me how to knit, and I was just all fingers and thumbs. I always have been. I've never been good with anything like that. You know, when you go into the girl guides and the brownies, and they used to teach you how to do all different kinds of knots? Well, it's safe to say I never got that badge, because I could never do any sorts of knots. Not even a simple knot. But I've always been interested in being able to knit or crochet. So it's really nice that you can do that. Anyway, I wish I could. But I have started a bit more diamond painting, which I'm really enjoying. So, you know, you can sort of link your hobbies together. I think they're all sort of crafty things, aren't they? But yeah, you say you call it a pastime while the kids slept. That's exactly how it started off for me as well. I would come upstairs where my desk is in the evenings when the kids had gone to bed, and I would just get a colouring book out and I would just colour, and it would be that sort of bit of stress relief at the end of the day. If, you know, days can get stressful when you're looking after children, small children, and it would just be that bit of quiet time, that bit of stress relief. I know people used to always ask the question of, do you colour in silence, or do you like background noise, or do you watch telly at the same time? Well, for me, because I'd heard that much noise during the day with the children, I just used to love the silence. I came up in the evenings and sit with my colouring book, and I would just be silent. I would just be silent, and that would be it. That would be me. So yeah, I agree with you there with the price of books as well. I think some of them definitely have, but then on the other hand, we've got some really, really good priced ones. The other day, Amazon came up with the Kirby Roseanne's Mythic World. It was reduced to £5 on Amazon UK. I don't know if it's still on offer, but it was yesterday. So go and check it out. But yeah, there is some bargains to be had, but I do agree that some of them are quite overpriced. You know, I don't mind for the, you know, the artists what put real time and effort into the illustrations and sort of, you know, create the colouring books with the good paper. I don't mind paying for those, but I'm sort of on the fence about the ones that just sort of you know, the ones where they buy the illustrations. I'm not sure what it's called, but they sort of purchase the illustrations from somewhere else and put them all into a colouring book and then sell that on Amazon, maybe with your Amazon printed paper. I'm not really a fan of that. But yeah, I agree. I don't think I was round at the height of it becoming popular, because I've only been colouring for the past 2-3 years. But yeah, you've probably more experience of that than me. And that's all of your comments that you left. So thank you so much whoever shared that, because I know sometimes they can be a bit personal. So thank you so much for sharing those. And mine, I've sort of give bits away of the reason why I colour whilst I've been reading yours out. But it's very much the same thing. I was working when I have 5 children, but when I had my first and second children, I was still working. I obviously went off on maternity leave, but then I've always gone back to work and worked. When I was pregnant with my third baby, I went off on maternity leave, and it was during this time that I had concerns about my second born child not developing, not talking, and I had the midwife round for my baby that had just been born, my third child, and I just mentioned to her about my second child. I said, she's not, you know, she's still not talking, and I'm a bit worried. She wasn't really walking as well. She was 18 months old and she wasn't really walking yet. So I just raised the concerns, and anyway, she ended up referring me. And anyway, long story short, turned out she has autism. So then when you have a child with additional needs, it's so hard to get to all the appointments and all the different things you need to care for them and take them to whilst holding down a job, because you've got all these appointments and you feel like you can't just keep saying to your employer, listen, I need this day off, I need that day off every 2 seconds. You feel like you're a burden on them. You really do. Or you feel like you just know they're going to pull the face when you go and say, like, I need this time off. And also, at the time, my daughter was really not good with strangers, not good with being left. So I couldn't just get a babysitter, and I couldn't get my mum to stay at home with her because my mum still works herself. So I made the decision to become a stay-at-home mum / carer for my daughter. And it got lonely. It got really, really lonely. It really does. Because not only have you got the fact that you're a stay-at-home mum, you've got the fact that your daughter's got additional needs as well. So it's not always easy to just meet up with friends and their children, because possibly something's going to upset my daughter because she didn't like loud noises. There was lots of things that used to send her into meltdown, or she'd run off at certain places, and I'd have to turn around and say, I can't go to that place because she will run off. She'll run off, or it's not safe, or this noise might occur and she doesn't like it, or, you know, it's just another world, basically. So it was really, really lonely. Anyway, 2 more children arrived, because I had 5 altogether. 2 more children arrived, and when my 4th baby started nursery, that's where I met Debbie from Colour Me Stress Free, and we was just waiting to drop our daughters off into nursery, and I noticed she was sat waiting, and she had a colouring book, and I'll always remember it was a hardback colouring book. I think it was an Hannah Carlson hardback colouring book, and I always remember thinking, oh, that's so nice, like, it looks so nice, because I've always enjoyed art and colouring, but you just don't think about doing it as an adult. And I thought that book looks really, like, in my head I was thinking posh, because it was a hardback and I'd never seen anything like that before. Not an adult colouring book, I'd never really seen one before. And we just ended up getting talking, and then she actually ended up giving me a couple of Johanna Basford colouring books to start off with. And Debbie, I can't remember which ones they were, I do apologise, can't remember which ones they were, but I was so enjoying colouring in them books, so enjoying. And then I decided to just go onto Amazon and have a look at what other books were available, and that's when I came across Hannah Carlson's Soulmate book, and I thought, oh, this is like one of the books that Debbie had. I thought it's a nice hardback, gorgeous colouring book, so I ended up ordering it, and that was one of the first books that I purchased myself, was a Hannah Carlson Soulmates book. And then we just got talking, and I think Debbie, not long after that, I think Debbie set up a YouTube channel. And I was so happy watching Debbie's channel. I thought that's when I found the community, because she'd started live streaming. And I just started to chat in the live streams, as you do. You start finding out more and more about all these people, and you find that it's the same people who come into the streams, so you get to know them, which is really nice. You just get to know them. And then I think it was about 9 months after Debbie started her channel that, I don't know if she mentioned it to me about starting one. I think she might have done, and at first I was like, oh no, I can't do that. That's not for me. I'm super shy. I've got social anxiety. There's no way. No way. Anyway, I think it took me a few months. I think it was a few months of thinking about it and plucking up the courage. And then I finally released my very first video and set up my channel. And, you know, she was so supportive of me. And at the time, I didn't even have a desk. I filmed it from my bed, in my bedroom, holding my own phone in my hand. And it was my very first finished pages video. And I'll never forget it. I'll never forget it. My voice was so nervous. So nervous. It was so funny. But yeah, the rest is history, because I just carried on from there. Got the channel monetized when I hit 1,000 subscribers. Couldn't quite believe I'd hit 1,000 subscribers. And then you just continue to make new friends. You continue to constantly build up, you know, these sort of unique bonds with people from around the world. And it just, you know, it takes some of the loneliness away, because you've got these people. You've got a shared interest with people. And yeah, that's the reason why I colour. To, you know, it stops loneliness, stops you going insane, and also stress relief. Definitely stress relief at the end of the day, when it's been a busy day. And even if sometimes, you know, you lose your mojo. You lose your mojo for colouring sometimes. But when that has happened, I've still enjoyed going on into other people's live streams and watching people colour. Even if I've not felt in the mood to colour myself, I've still always enjoyed watching other people and, you know, keeping in contact that way. So yeah, it's such a good hobby to have. And then more recently I've started doing the diamond painting, which I also love. You know, the diamond painting is good for, obviously, colouring like this. A page like this, you have to think about what colour palette you want to use, and all that jazz. But if you don't want to do that, I find diamond painting's brilliant, because you're just picking up the drills and putting them where it's telling you to. It's a bit like a colour by number. And you don't have to think about anything. It's so mindless. So mindless. If you haven't ever done a diamond painting, I really recommend you try one. Even if, I know Diamond Art Club can be, you know, really expensive. They're not to everyone's budget. Definitely not. And especially if you're in the UK, because the shipping is high. And to get free shipping, you have to spend, is it £60–70, which, you know, it's not cheap. And it's not within everyone's budget. But if you can just find one from other sites, or they have a few on Amazon, a few nice ones on Amazon. I think I got one from Amazon, my very first one. If you can just grab one of those small ones and just see what you think about them. Yeah, really mindless. Really mindless. So I'm going to end this here. I'm going to finish this in my own time. I've got 2 pages to finish off now, because before I filmed this one, I was filming with Debbie. So I've got sort of 2 whips on the go now, which I don't normally do because it stresses me out a bit. But I love the colour palette on this one. This is a really nice bright yellow, cadmium yellow, lemon. So I'm going to go in with some of that around some areas. And then I'll go in on the head and arms, what I've left out in the tail, with a slightly different green, I think, or maybe I'll put more yellow into the tail at the end, something like that. Probably do a soft pastel background, I'm thinking, on this one, something like that. Throw some paints on it somewhere, because this paper really takes all mediums very well. So thanks again to everyone who contributed to this video and shared your thoughts. Please do hit the thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, and comment down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.